Entity Data Podcast.
Enterprise software has played an essential role in making businesses and industries more efficient and more competitive. Today, that role is expanding further into exciting new areas thanks to the cloud, artificial intelligence, and other disruptive technologies that empower businesses to achieve operational excellence, drive innovation, boost sustainability, and navigate the complexities of the modern business landscape. To help enterprises better understand these trends, Entity Data has developed a series of podcasts that explain how new technology is transforming a wide range of businesses and industry sectors. And we discuss the specific implications for enterprises using SAP software. In this first episode of our SAP Enterprise Tech Podcast, we will discuss the fascinating topic of artificial intelligence and its many potential uses in businesses. From automating and optimizing common tasks to enhancing human creativity or even enabling businesses to think of new products and services that were not possible before. We will also look at how AI will transform businesses' processes and the overall IT environment for enterprises using SAP software. Here to discuss these topics is Ricardo Langa, Entity Data SAP Global Co-Lead for the LEAP program, Thomas Normark, Director Global Lead of Innovation, and Adil Moujahid, Technical Manager and Data and Intelligence Team. You're listening to the SAP Enterprise Tech Podcast, a series by Entity Data dedicated to the latest trends in business technology and with a special focus on enterprises using SAP software.
Hello and welcome to the Entity Data SAP Podcast. My name is Ricardo Langa. I've been on the SAP world at Entity Data for over 20 years, and in this show, I'm going to introduce you to some of our world technology and business leaders to review together a list of fascinating topics. Today, we will talk about artificial intelligence. Since Chat GPT was released, everybody talks about AI. But lack of common understanding, privacy concerns, unclear goals, unclear legislation, many challenges surround the AI world. Transformation is constant, and business must adapt to these changes. What is the future of the AI arena? What does SAP technology bring to these new challenges? Today, we will talk about this and much more with our expert, Thomas Normark and Adil Moujahid, leaders of the AI practice at Entity Data. Welcome. It is a pleasure to be with both of you here today.
Thank you, Ricardo. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Ricardo. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Okay, so everybody talks about it, but I think that nobody really knows what it is. So let me please start by this very beginning. What is artificial intelligence for you?
So artificial intelligence refers to machines and algorithms that demonstrate behavior or capabilities similar to humans. And there are different technologies that implement artificial intelligence. In most cases, when we say AI, we mean machine learning. And machine learning is a branch of computer science that deals with algorithms that learn from data. For example, think of building an AI system that detects faces in images. So if we want to build such system, we can use a machine learning algorithm on a database of images that contain human faces. And through a process that we call training, we can teach the machine learning algorithm to identify faces in new and seen images. And you mentioned Chat GPT. So in the last, I would say, few years, last months, there is a new subset of AI that is called generative AI. And this generative AI is basically AI algorithm designed to create new contents. And this new contents can be text, images, or other form of video. And within this generative AI, large language models And Chat GPT is a very good example of these new technologies.
Yeah, and if I can add from my side, I completely agree with the description that Adil just gave. On top of that, you could maybe think about what is human intelligence, right? Because what we are trying to do is to replicate human intelligence, just like an artificial plant is trying to look like a real plant. And human intelligence is a lot of things, actually. So, of course, it's our cognitive abilities, right? So we have this mental capacity, like, memory, attention, problem solving, trying to find, solutions to challenges and so on. But we also have the emotional intelligence, where we try to understand emotions, and we have creativity. We have, of course, also social understanding and moral reasoning. And some of the last parts of the human intelligence might not be where we can see technology is superior today, but especially when it comes to the cognitive abilities that I talked about. Also the creativity now we can see with generative AI, reasoning, problem solving. Those are the areas of human intelligence where we can see that now AI is really challenging us as human beings.
That's really interesting and a lot of food for thought in your words, Thomas, really. But all this you're explaining, apart from really interesting, looks like complex for a normal organization. It looks like expensive as well, probably. So how important do you think that AI technology is going to be for the future of our global customers and the global organizations we work for? And how can they benefit from it in simple terms? What's your opinion regarding that?
Yeah. So for me, when we talk about AI, actually it's not about a future technology. It's something that is important now, and many of our clients could benefit of implementing these technologies right now. And if we break it into simple terms, AI has the potential of bringing human level performance and capabilities at scale. This opened the doors to many opportunities for businesses. And this ranges from automation, streamlining operation, boosting efficiency, and even thinking of creating new products and services that weren't possible before. So most businesses will have to adapt to this new world of AI, and they need to adopt these AI technologies in their business processes. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to compete in the market.
So, sorry, Adil, but somehow the normal concept like we have of AI from, I don't know, science fiction and everything is like a super clever human being. So are you telling me that instead of thinking of a super clever human being, I have to think of AI somehow as like having an army of slaves to do the job for me somehow, of bots or robots? Is that it?
It's a combination of what Thomas was mentioning earlier about reasoning. I think I would say it's more on the science fiction part. But I think if we just take the basic tasks, repetitive tasks for a normal business, there are so many of them, and the low-hanging fruit is now to automate all those business processes, and that will have a huge impact on the economy and on our clients' businesses. But if we take another layer more on the science fiction, and if you look at Chat GPT, for example, how it's able to be very creative in generating news articles and even with the things like DALL-E with generating images. So it's moving away from, I would say, automating simple tasks to more creative work. So answering your question, I think it would be a combination of both.
What are your thoughts, Thomas, regarding this?
So I've been working in the field of AI for many years, and I can really see a change right now. Of course, we have tried to convince our customers and our partners that they should use AI in their services and in their processes and in their applications. And it has not been easy to begin with, right? But we can see now that with this democratization of AI, that everyone understands the power of AI today, because we are all having it in our hands, right? It's not only exclusive for the data scientists or the professors or the experts. It's for everyday people. And this has, made it much more easy also for companies and organizations to introduce AI into their solutions and their applications. Because, back in the days, one of the big hurdles was the change management that came with implementing AI. But today that change management task is still not easy, but it's not the same because all the employees, they acknowledge the value and the power of AI, and they are not afraid of AI anymore. I remember when I started in this field, it was not even called AI, it was called cognitive services, because the word AI was a little bit dangerous. So there's really happened a lot of things, especially with the generative AI revolution that we have seen over the past years. So it will be easier and cheaper for organizations to embed and integrate AI into their solutions and services.
Interesting. But now, most of our listeners are either SAP users or SAP consultants. The SAP world is that of business processes and information management. Do you see it disrupted with AI? How do you think AI is going to affect the SAP IT environment and the SAP landscapes and processes?
Yeah, so we can see a strategy shift actually when it comes to SAP. So they have now shifted towards what they call business AI. And it really indicates that they are moving from just, fundamental AI technology to actually embedding AI naturally within their software and their applications. And this is where we see that their goal is now to really integrate AI into business processes and data. This is a very interesting change that we're seeing from SAP because SAP has a huge advantage when it comes to the training data that should be used for training these enterprise AI models. So the last number I heard was that SAP has now consent for more than 20,000 customers running in the SAP data centers, where SAP can utilize the customer data actually to pre-train models that will then be embedded into SAP applications. So they have this huge corpus of data, business data from their own customers, and then combined with the fact that SAP are also controlling the data models of the applications. They are more or less the same for all customers. And that means that they can now train these very, very strong models that can be used, across the customer landscape. And this is really a game changer for me. Another thing that we can see now is that instead of, competing when it comes to fundamental AI technology, SAP is now partnering up with the major players instead. So Microsoft, Google, IBM. So they're using the best of breed AI services that are available on the market. Even the open sourced Hugging Face models can now be embedded into the BTP platform. And I think the combination of what I just said means that SAP, this can really disrupt the offering from SAP in the future.
And Thomas, let me ask you, how do you think this is going to change the skill set of both SAP users and SAP consultants? Because somehow once AI is fully available out there, easy and embedded into the processes, jobs are going to change a lot, aren't they? Are we going to need a new generation of employees and partners that somehow have different skills from, and which skills would those be?
Yeah, so we can take two areas. So one area would be, the business users. They would interact with the business applications in a new way through conversational interfaces. We can see the introduction of SAP Joule, where the idea is that you are now interacting with your business applications in a new way. So you're using, you're interacting on human terms, meaning that you can just say whatever you want, and the system will give it to you. So you could say, give me the sales numbers from last month, compared to the sales numbers same time last year, break it into product categories, and then the application will just give you what you ask for. So that's one area where there will be a change also in the needed competencies and skill set, because the business users should now be very good at actually talking to their applications instead of knowing the different paths through dragging and dropping and clicking through the applications and putting in transaction codes. The other part is code development, so ABAP development, where we have seen in the past, we have been in SE80 and the ABAP workbench, and we have done all our code by hand. We got some auto-completion services and functionality at some point, but most of the ABAP code out there has been actually generated by hand, manually by programmers. What we can see in the future is that we can really generate code and we can transform code using these generative AI capabilities that comes from the big players like OpenAI and Microsoft and IBM.
So more talking and less typing. My daughters are going to love that when they get to the business world.
Yeah, exactly. So all the repetitive stuff that Adil also talked about, we as human beings, we are not meant to do that anyway. So we can project our energy to something else.
Okay, and getting back to the business world and the needs of our customers, what are entity data's key main assets or accelerators in the artificial intelligence world? Do we have something out there? Are we a player in the area?
Yes, we are a big player in this area. So as NCC Data, we have a comprehensive AI services portfolio, and we support our clients with an end-to-end approach. So we are helping them since the beginning, in the inception of an AI strategy, how to implement this technology within their organization. And we are also providing technical support to execute AI projects. We also have multiple partnerships with leading companies in this space. So all the major AI providers, as well as startups specialized in specific AI solutions. We are developing our own assets, accelerators, and solutions. And those assets are addressing industry and domain-specific problems, as well as accelerators to speed up the process of executing AI projects for our clients.
And if I can add to Adil's input, so if we bring it into an SAP context, then we are also heavily focusing on building industry accelerators and assets that can be plugged into the SAP applications or run on top of SAP applications. So it could be anything from, AI invoice assignment. So when you get an invoice in a paper form or in a PDF, how can you then automatically post that invoice into your business system? One thing is to do OCR and try to understand what is the text and the numbers of the invoice, but how do you teach an automation engine to know which general ledger account or which internal project has to pay for a certain product? And then we can use historical data from the SAP system to train models that can understand that, okay, the black plastic bags are always paid by facility management, so we will assign the invoice to facility management when it's plastic bags. Things like that we are working on intensively. And the same, as you know, we have this collaboration in creating a code generation tool that can really transform and modernize old ABAP to the new modern ABAP world. So those are some examples to add.
Adil, Thomas, I have been recording like a dozen of these interviews, and I have to say that this is one of the most captivating ones, at least for me. I mean, it looks like we are really at the doorstep of a new time, when AI really comes and gets down to our daily lives and our daily work and the tasks we do. No, I have enjoyed a lot talking to you today. Unfortunately, all good things come to an end, and it is time to say goodbye for now. Really interesting to talk to you too about all these changes in AI and how they will impact our SAP world. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Adil.
Thank you, Ricardo.
You're welcome, Ricardo. Thank you.
And thank you also, listeners, for being here with us. See you again soon in the next show of this series. Goodbye.
To remain competitive in today's global and interconnected economy, businesses have to compete in an environment characterized by rapid innovation, disruption, and constant change. Those businesses that can successfully leverage new technologies to adapt to these changes are best placed to succeed. Today, we were joined by Ricardo Langa, Entity Data SAP Global Co-Lead for the LEAP program, Thomas Normark, and Adil Moujahid, leaders of the AI practice at Entity Data, who discussed the fascinating topic of artificial intelligence and the need for business to adopt AI in their business processes. Join us for our next episode of the SAP Enterprise Tech Podcast from Entity Data, where we will discuss sustainability and the tools that SAP users have available to help their sustainability initiatives.